Well, rent across the U.S. is up more than 3.2% in the last 16 months. But here in Buffalo, the average cost of rent is up 5.3% from the start of the pandemic to now. In March of this year, rent in our area changed $1,163. More than 860,000 New Yorkers are behind on rent, and roughly 173,000 families are at risk of being kicked out of their homes. New York State had an eviction ban in place until the end of August, but just yesterday, the Supreme Court stepped in to block part of that ban. Tonight, our Lilia Wood tells us what the court's decision means for people facing eviction.
At this point, tenants are scared.
The Supreme Court has blocked part of New York's eviction moratorium. Tenants' right attorney Adam Bojack tells me some tenants can now be evicted.
It is going to undercut the most important part of what New York has put in place.
All 6 conservative justices voted to strike down part of the law that denies landlords the chance to contest a tenant's claim of hardship.
Basically allowed the tenant to say that I have been affected by COVID. And once the tenant signs something to that effect, it could not be challenged by the landlord.
The Supreme Court's decision states no man can be a judge in his own case, and the court should determine the hardships.
It doesn't automatically stop the eviction from proceeding, and those can continue. It would only be used as a defense to the action.
Attorney Corey Hogan represents about 200 landlords.
Our opinion, it's not going to open the courts to any significant eviction process as long as the current statute that's on the books it stays in place.
Some are considering this court ruling a win for landlords because technically they can start to evict some people. But Hogan tells me eviction is really not that simple.
Are evictions coming?
This is the tough question. I think evictions are coming, but they're not going to be a huge wave as many would think.
After the court ruling, incoming governor of New York State, Kathy Hochul, said no New Yorkers who have been financially hit by the pandemic should be forced to leave their homes.
The eviction process is going to probably be stopped as well unless we do something more substantive than what just happened.
On top of all of this, New York's emergency rental assistance program is moving very slowly. Both lawyers tell me most renters and landlords are still waiting for money.
Funds that have been put aside that are not being paid out.
Push Buffalo's housing justice organizer tells me most tenants she speaks to are just so confused.
The eviction moratorium itself, both the state and the federal moratoriums, are still in place, and that there are protections for tenants to access.
New York's moratorium is going to expire at the end of August, and the federal moratorium remains in place until October 3rd. Lilia Wood, 7 Eyewitness News.
Adam Bojack, a tenants' rights attorney, says it's important for renters to their rights and how to exercise them. For rental assistance, though, you can visit otda.ny.gov, and for additional housing resources, visit pushbuffalo.org.